streamer Shroud is doing some sort of partnership with Insomniac here, promoting Marvel's Wolverine. They even apparently flew the guy out to the offices and made this little video with him, which I'll show you in a moment, 36 seconds long. As you might expect, the comments are not really supportive of this collaboration, though. So let's take a look. He says, "Big thank you to Insomniac Games for letting me hang around the studio." Dude, I just think it's funny because, like, I would never want to go to that studio, let alone thank them. Hey, do you want to come to the studio? Yeah, thanks. How about no? How about you stay away from me? But he says, Marvel's Wolverine will be available exclusively on PS5 on September 15th. Pre-order now, everybody. At PlayStation, at Marvel Games, PS5 Games, Wolverines, Wolverine EPS5, hashtag ad. Yeah, dude, let's go to the studio. I'm sure these will be, you know, some real gamers, real Marvel fans. They would be a pleasure to hang out with, you know. That would be really insightful. That would be such a great day. Yeah.
A big thank you to PlayStation for sponsoring this video because somehow I managed to get a sneak peek of the upcoming Marvel's Wolverine game. And let me tell you, gamers and Marvel fans are in for a real treat. I convinced Insomniac to let me take a look around the studio, including checking out the motion capture room. Also got to see some sets from the game, including the Princess Bar. And then finally, I got my hands on the game.
All right, it's time to play.
It's brutal, visceral. Really makes you feel like you're Wolverine. Insomniac is so good at that, making you feel like that character. I can't wait to play it. And I'm so pumped. You should be too, because Marvel's Wolverine is out September 15th, exclusively on the PlayStation 5.
I love how completely out of touch all of them are. Like, dude, they literally use two of the most mocked scenes in the entire game that we've seen so far, in the entire gameplay we've seen so far. And they think this is like a cool thing. Gamers are going to love this. The first scene is this one when he jumps out of the plane, falls out of the plane, and, like, you know, flips off the character that he was talking to. And the defenders are like, dude, he's flipped people off with his claws before. And it's like, yeah, but the way they did it's cringe. Insomniac is making this so cringe. And people analyzed it's probably the way he, like, has this weird grin and, like, jumps out of the plane at the same time. It's like, you're doing too much. You're trying too hard. Now, personally, I've never thought flipping someone off to be a cool thing. I know movies for a long time have tried to make that like a cool thing. To me, it's never come off as cool because I'm like, oh, so you're mad. Okay, you're mad. I got it. That's not a dub in my opinion. And then, like, they took it even further with this scene though, because the whole, like, as mentioned, like falling out of the plane and the explosion in the background at the same time, like literally peak cringe. And then they include the next one, which is this scene, which I might actually be responsible for really getting this scene mocked because I had a somewhat viral tweet comparing this to Erika Ishii. And I was doing it, you know, as a joke a bit, but, like, there was a similarity with, like, the way the mouth was open, the face in particular. And the defenders really got mad at me for that. I'll show you that in a second. But let's just play this, like, you know, couple second part here again real quick. Oh, I want the sound on. Hold on. Let's go back.
For a real treat.
Dude, that generic, like, raw. Oh my gosh. Dude, how do you make a Wolverine game and give him negative aura? Like, that's actually impressive. That takes talent. Obviously the wrong kind of talent, which is to say there's no talent, but you get the point. It's a joke. And that takes me to the Erika Ishii tweet that I made. So my silly little tweet here, this got 11,000 likes, almost 400,000 views, and like 99% of the responses were people understanding the point here, and 1% were like somehow acting like they were oblivious and making horrible bad faith arguments, or they were actually that ignorant. I don't know. Sometimes it's hard to tell. But, like, you know, people, like I said, 99% of people got the joke. They're putting, like, the soy lint. They've got, like, the soy jack on them. Like, yeah, dude, that is actually so accurate. And since then, I've seen this image actually getting a lot of reposts places. I think this is the first time it was posted, at least the first time I saw it on August 15th here, from this guy responding to me. So that was hilarious too. Here's an example of the terrible arguments people were bringing up though in the responses. Because Wolverine has never in the 50 years he's existed, has never ever not once made that face. Go the F outside and breathe some fresh air. And it's like, dude, that's not even remotely the same energy. It takes me back to what I said a moment ago. Somehow Marvel's Wolverine, this upcoming game, they gave him like negative aura. Like, that looks weak. It looks cringe. It literally looks weak. This, I'm still not a Wolverine fan, so this doesn't really do anything for me. But you can clearly see, like, there is actual intimidating energy here, somewhat, compared to this. And when I say I'm not a Wolverine fan, it's just because I've never been a fan of the archetype of, like, oh, I'm going to get angry and, like, aggressive. Like, that's just not my sort of character type. I respect Wolverine. I like him for, like, what he does to help other mutants. I like that he's, like, kind of a a role model of sorts to the other mutants, and I like his dedication to helping Professor X and, his longstanding history and his lineage. I respect all that. I'm just saying, like, big, angry, or not, it's not really big, but it's the opposite of big, actually, but, angry, aggressive character archetype, just not my preferred archetype, that's all. To clarify one thing, though, that doesn't mean I dislike him. I've actually got a more positive opinion than negative opinion of him. I'm just saying, he wouldn't be on my list of favorites. Let's return to the Shroud tweet. Let's take a look at the public reception that this tweet is getting. So, at the very top, we've got, you realize you tarnish your brand as a gamer completely by taking money and marketing trash slop like this game? You have to be smart enough to realize this, right? Let's check out the responses here. They don't care. They just want clout, perks, incentives, and invites to events. I just don't understand that. Why would anyone want to be a part of those events? And what clout? It's literally negative clout. Hey, I worked with Insomniac. Yeah, like, that's bad. Why would you want to work with those guys? Hey, I worked with a lot of modern audience devs. Look at my clout, gamers. Isn't that cool? No, it's literally the opposite. Like, what? So fundamentally, yeah, I just don't understand that at all. And if the argument simply, oh, they paid him, I get it. We all need money. But I think it's important to also have standards. At least to me, that's an important thing. Most of the sponsorship offers I've got, I decline. It's very rare where I actually accept one. Then we got this comment. You could have at least held the clause properly. Dude, I didn't catch this. But yeah, that is actually not correct, huh? Why is it coming out of, like, the thumb and the index finger area? Where would the claw even be coming out of there? Like, magically out of thin air? Like, dude, this is so symbolic of how little these people care. These people being, like, the devs at Insomniac. They don't even care about making an actual good Wolverine game. And it's so symbolic that the guy they fly out to do the promotion with them, they don't even get the claws right either in the promotional material. Like, it's not a huge deal, but it is funny. Like I said, it's symbolic and it's funny. At least he got the other one right, though. Wait, did he? Oh no, wait. I don't even think he got that one right either. Catering to streamers again. This game is gonna flop so hard, says this comment. But let's take a look at this. Let's focus on this for a second. Maybe we shouldn't focus on this for a second, actually. Maybe we should just erase this from our memory. Dude, is this Aloy? This is the Horizon character Aloy, right? I remember that character. They added her to Genshin Impact, and all the Genshin players were like, dude, this character sucks. And they don't even let us delete her. It was actually probably one of the funniest Genshin controversies of all time, actually. People were literally like, dude, I don't even want her in my character catalog, but we can't delete her. What was there? There was like some... What were people doing? There was a workaround, I think. It was like leave her at level 1 so she's at least at the bottom or something. I thought there was a better workaround, though. I'm forgetting. This was years ago. I actually do remember. The leave her at level 1 was like the obvious play where at least, again, she's at the bottom of your roster so you don't have to really look at her. That's what I ended up doing. But there was a better workaround. If I recall, this was what it was. People were saying if you don't collect her from the mailbox, like if you don't collect the gift, quote unquote, from the mailbox, you don't actually claim her, that after 30 or 60 days, whatever the period is, she'll get like auto deleted from your mail. So that was the workaround, I think, according to recollection. In the quote tweets, we've got Shroud liking it and getting paid to promote it, confirms it's actually going to be pure garbage. And then right below that, we got It's a Gundam showing Shroud in a Fallout suit, right? That is a Fallout suit, right? Wait, what does Shroud have to do with Fallout? Is there some explanation in the comments here? Let's take a look. So there actually wasn't, but I just Googled Shroud and Fallout, and it popped up this trailer from like 6 months ago. Fallout official dog meat trailer feat Shroud. I just never understand why some streamers, they're so desperate to be a part of Hollywood and like the AAA video game industry. It's so weird to me because, again, there's this major disconnect where for me, I want to be on the complete opposite from those people. Hey, do you want to be a part of the established corpos? Absolutely not. I want to do my own thing. So I've just never understood that. The only good thing about this trailer are the dogs, though. The dogs are cool. The dogs are cute. Anyways, that is the latest Shroud situation. Let me know what you think about that. Thank you for tuning in. Have a great rest of your weekend, and I'll see you in the next one.